Did you know that the boundaries of your reality may be softer than you think, like the edges of a dream? That every choice you've made and every path you didn't take could still exist somewhere in a vast multiverse of possibilities? Imagine arriving here not burdened by the weight of one life's decisions, but curious about the countless unexplored versions of yourself. This is a sanctuary for those infinite selves, for the multiplicities of you. When you gaze into the mirror tonight, do you feel the whisper of its depths, the subtle sense that the reflection holds more than one face? Does your pulse quicken, imagining versions of yourself who took the job overseas, who stayed in that relationship, who boarded the train they almost missed? You stand at the threshold of existence's greatest mystery, where every decision splits the cosmic fabric, where every unrealized dream lives breathlessly in another world. We are not merely telling stories tonight. We are weaving the first threads of your infinite tapestry. From the childhood birthday party where you blew out candles in a house that no longer stands, to the university degree you almost pursued, to the chance encounter you narrowly avoided, each moment branches endlessly. Your life is not a single line, but a radiant explosion of possibilities, each as real as the heartbeat in your chest. But first, take a moment to tell me, where are you joining in from, and when? What does self mean to you in this moment? However you define identity, I invite you to release those boundaries now as we prepare to envision a reality where you are simultaneously a novelist in Paris, a scientist in zero gravity, a monk in the Himalayas, and 1,000 other lives your atoms dreamed into being. Where does the multiverse find you tonight? Are you hearing this on a phone in a crowded subway, surrounded by strangers whose alternate selves may have loved or harmed you in other worlds? Or alone in a quiet room where the walls feel suddenly thin as tissue paper between realities? Here, in the quiet between heartbeats, you'll discover that a life is never just one timeline. That your body is not fixed, but a probability wave still collapsing. That your griefs might be soothed by versions of you who healed, your joys amplified by those who risked more boldly, your unanswered questions already resolved in realities where you chose differently. So breathe deeply, in and out, and let the boundaries between physics and wonder dissolve. Let the glow of your screen become the soft light of 100 other devices in 100 other worlds, where other versions of you lean closer to these same words. We're about to wander through a reality where fate is measured in quantum branches, where destiny means choosing which threads of your tapestry to pull closer, and where your very presence in this conversation sends ripples across the infinite. The implications are dizzying, but the vision is luminous. You are the universe experiencing itself through countless eyes. And in this hour, you become both observer and observed, the dreamer and the dream, a sacred paradox. Shall we begin our journey? Fear not. We'll proceed as gently as parallel worlds first diverging, as patiently as light crossing between alternate versions of your bedroom. Like travelers peering through the frosted glass between dimensions, we'll explore from quantum echoes to cosmic rebirth until the line between me and all possible versions of me begins to blur. There is a quiet idea that has haunted the edges of human imagination since the first civilizations gazed upward at the night sky. What if we are not alone in the grandest possible sense? Not merely in the question of whether other life exists among the stars, but whether our entire universe, with all its swirling galaxies and glittering nebulae, is but one note in an infinite cosmic symphony. This is the gentle, almost meditative concept of the multiverse, a theory that invites us to consider that everything we know, everything we perceive as reality, might be just one thread in an unimaginably vast tapestry of existence. As you settle into this moment of contemplation, let your mind drift beyond the familiar boundaries of space and time. Picture yourself standing beneath a perfectly clear night sky, far from city lights, where the Milky Way stretches across the heavens like a river of diamonds. Each point of light represents a sun, many with their own families of planets, some perhaps harboring life not so different from our own. Now imagine that beyond the farthest reaches our most powerful telescopes can see, beyond even the theoretical limits of our observable universe, there exist other skies entirely, other complete universes floating like soap bubbles in an endless cosmic sea. Some of these parallel realities might resemble ours almost exactly, with Earth-like worlds where civilizations rise and fall in rhythms hauntingly similar to our own. Others could be so profoundly alien that their very laws of physics would defy our understanding. Realities where time flows backward like a rewinding film, where gravity pushes rather than pulls, or where matter is woven from fundamental particles we cannot even begin to imagine. This notion of multiple universes is far more than science fiction or philosophical speculation. It emerges naturally from the deepest and most elegant theories of modern physics, like a melody rising from the silent spaces between mathematical equations. One of the most compelling hints comes from cosmic inflation theory, our best understanding of the universe's first moments. In the tiniest fraction of a second after the Big Bang, space itself expanded faster than light could travel, stretching the infant universe from something smaller than a proton to cosmic proportions in less time than it takes light to cross an atomic nucleus. But what if this incredible inflation didn't happen just once in one place? What if it's still happening right now, endlessly, in regions forever beyond our horizon, continually giving birth to new universes, like bubbles forming in a glass of champagne? Imagine, if you will, a vast pot of water slowly coming to boil. As the water heats, bubbles form at the bottom and rise to the surface, each one a self-contained pocket of steam, separate from the others, each with its own unique shape and trajectory. In this metaphor, our universe is one such bubble among countless others in a cosmic foam of space-time. We are forever confined to our bubble universe, unable to see or touch the others that might exist just beyond our perceptual limits. The boundaries between these universe bubbles would be regions of unimaginable energy, where the very laws of physics might break down or transform into something entirely new. Some theories suggest that if another bubble universe collided with ours, it might leave detectable imprints in the cosmic microwave background, faint circular patterns in the afterglow of the Big Bang that we might one day discover. Then there is the strange and beautiful realm of quantum mechanics, where particles behave in ways that defy all our everyday intuition. At the quantum scale, particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously, a phenomenon called superposition. They can become entangled across vast distances, instantly influencing each other in ways that seem to violate the cosmic speed limit set by light. Some interpretations of quantum theory suggest that every quantum event, every tiny decision made by a particle, causes reality to split into branching paths. In one universe, an electron spins upward. In another, it spins downward. In one reality, a photon passes through a slit in an experiment. In another, it does not. Over time, these branches multiply endlessly, creating an ever-growing tree of alternate realities where every possible outcome must occur somewhere in the multiverse. Consider the implications of this for just a moment. There exists a version of reality where you never encountered these words, another where you are the one speaking them, countless others where the details of your life unfolded in subtly or dramatically different ways, where you made that different choice at a key moment, where historical events took alternate turns, where the very laws of nature permitted different possibilities. Somewhere in the multiverse, there may be a world where dinosaurs never went extinct and mammals remain small creatures scurrying in the undergrowth. Another where the Earth formed slightly closer to the sun and life never took hold at all. The variations are limited only by the boundaries of physical possibility. Yet, for all its wonder and explanatory power, the multiverse remains fundamentally a hypothesis, a shadow cast by the mathematics of our most advanced physical theories. We have no direct evidence of other universes, no confirmed way to peer beyond the boundaries of our own cosmic bubble. Some scientists argue this makes the multiverse theory unscientific, while others counter that its explanatory power for the strange fine-tuning of our universe gives it weight. But perhaps this very elusiveness is part of its quiet magic. The multiverse reminds us that reality, whatever its ultimate nature, is vaster, stranger, and more generous with possibility than we could ever fully comprehend. As you settle deeper into relaxation, let your mind wander through these unseen realms. Imagine the infinite variations of existence, each with its own joys and sorrows, triumphs and tragedies. Somewhere in the multiverse, every dream you've ever had is reality. Every fear you faced has been overcome. Every path not taken has been walked. And yet here you are in this particular version of reality, listening to these words, breathing in this moment, a unique and precious configuration of the cosmos, contemplating its own infinite possibilities. The multiverse may forever remain beyond our direct observation, but as a concept, it expands our imagination and humbles our place in the grand scheme of existence. And as sleep draws nearer, let this thought comfort you, that in some other universe, another version of you is also drifting to sleep, also wondering about the infinite possibilities of existence, connected across dimensions by the shared mystery of consciousness itself. As we drift deeper into the multiverse hypothesis, let us imagine existence as an infinite cosmic kaleidoscope, with every turn revealing new patterns of reality, each more breathtaking than the last. The concept of parallel universes isn't merely about duplication, but about the endless variations that physical laws might permit. Somewhere in this grand cosmic mosaic, there could be universes where stars burn in colors we cannot name, where time crystallizes into intricate structures, or where consciousness takes forms beyond our wildest imaginings. The mathematics behind this vision emerge from string theory, which suggests there may be 10 raised to the power 500 possible vacuum states, each representing a unique universe with its own physical constants. To grasp this number, consider that there are only about 10 power 80 atoms in our observable universe. The vastness of this landscape of possible universes makes our cosmic home seem like a single grain of sand on an endless beach. In some of these universes, gravity might be so strong that stars burn out in millions rather than billions of years. In others, the nuclear forces could be too weak to allow atoms to form at all. Our universe's particular set of physical constants, the ones that allow for galaxies, planets, and life, might be vanishingly rare in this grand cosmic distribution. Quantum mechanics adds another layer to this tapestry through the many worlds interpretation. Every quantum event creates branching paths, not just for particles, but for the entire universe. When you make a decision, however small, the universe splits to accommodate every possible outcome. There's a version of reality where you turned left instead of right this morning, where you chose a different career path, or where humanity took a different evolutionary turn. These branches multiply exponentially, creating an ever-growing tree of possibilities where every conceivable outcome must occur in some universe. The implications become even more profound when we consider consciousness. Some theories suggest that each conscious observer might generate their own branching universe through quantum processes in the brain. This leads to the startling possibility that your personal reality might literally diverge from others through quantum choices made by your own perception. It's as if each conscious being carries their own pocket universe, constantly interacting and entangling with others in ways we're only beginning to imagine. As you relax deeper into these thoughts, consider that the multiverse might explain one cosmology's greatest mysteries: why our universe seems so finely tuned for life. The cosmological constant, which governs the expansion of space, is balanced to an astonishing precision of 1 part in 10 power 120. If it were slightly stronger, matter would have flown apart before galaxies could form. Slightly weaker, and the universe would have collapsed back on itself. In the multiverse framework, this fine-tuning isn't miraculous. It's inevitable that among infinite universes, some would have the right conditions for life by pure chance. We find ourselves in one such universe because we couldn't exist in the others. The boundaries between these universes might not be absolute. Some theories suggest that quantum tunneling could occasionally allow information or even matter to pass between parallel realities. There are hypotheses that certain quantum anomalies or déjà vu experiences might be faint echoes bleeding through from other versions of ourselves in nearby universes. While purely speculative, such ideas remind us that the fabric of reality may be more permeable than we imagine. As sleep draws nearer, let your mind wander through these infinite possibilities. Somewhere in the multiverse, there's a version of Earth where the continents never separated. Another where humanity discovered interstellar travel centuries ago. Another still where art and science developed in completely different directions. The beauty of this vision isn't just in its grandeur, but in its humility, reminding us that our particular reality, with all its joys and sorrows, is but one thread in an unimaginably vast cosmic tapestry. And as you drift toward dreams, remember that in some other universe, another version of you is also closing their eyes, also contemplating these infinite possibilities, connected across dimensions by the shared wonder of existence itself. Let us sink deeper now into the gentle currents of cosmic possibility, where the boundaries between worlds grow soft and the very fabric of reality ripples like silk in a cosmic breeze. Imagine, if you will, that existence is not a single thread, but an endless tapestry, woven from countless strands of might-have-beens and never-weres, each as real as the world you know. Somewhere in this infinite weave, there's a universe where rain falls upward, where time pools like liquid in valleys of space-time, where entire civilizations rise and fall in the space between your heartbeats. The mathematics of modern physics hums with this possibility, suggesting that what we call reality may be but one note in a grand celestial harmony. String theory whispers of hidden dimensions curled tighter than the petals of a sleeping rose, perhaps 6 or 7 extra dimensions folded into the fabric of space itself, each twist and knot giving rise to new universes with their own unique melodies of physical law. In some, gravity might be a fragile thing, barely strong enough to tie planets to their suns. In others, light could move at a crawl, stretching seconds into centuries. There may even be realms where causality itself unravels, where effect precedes cause like echoes sounding before the shout that made them. Quantum mechanics paints an even more intimate portrait of multiplicity. Every choice, every random tremor of a particle, every moment where reality might have branched but didn't, or so we thought, actually did. The many worlds interpretation suggests these branches never prune away but continue growing eternally, an infinite tree of possibility where every conceivable outcome finds its place. There's a version of this very moment where you decided to stop listening, another where these words are being spoken in a language not yet invented, and another still where the concept of language never emerged at all. The air around you shimmers with these untaken paths, each one real somewhere in the quantum foam of existence. Yet the multiverse is more than just copies of our world with minor changes. Some theories suggest entire other categories of universe existing beyond our own. Membrane cosmologies imagine our universe as a three-dimensional brain floating in higher dimensional space, occasionally brushing against others with consequences we might perceive as cosmic anomalies or flashes of inexplicable energy. The holographic principle goes further, proposing that what we experience as solid reality might be a projection from the edge of the universe, like shadows dancing on the walls of a cosmic cave. In such a reality, the distinction between simulation and substance blurs into insignificance. As you settle deeper into relaxation, let this thought cradle you. Somewhere in the multiverse, there's a world where insomnia doesn't exist, where every being sleeps as peacefully as a universe at rest. And perhaps, just perhaps, by contemplating these parallel realities, you're drawing infinitesimally closer to that version of yourself. The boundaries between worlds may be firmer than thought, but they're also more permeable than we dare believe. In the quantum foam of existence, in the silent spaces between moments, who's to say which reality you're truly dreaming in tonight? The multiverse remains, for now, a beautiful hypothesis, a lullaby sung by mathematics to comfort our cosmic loneliness. But whether literally true or simply metaphor, it offers a profound gift, the assurance that no possibility is ever truly lost, that every path not taken still winds its way through some corner of existence, and that the universe, or universes, are far stranger, far kinder, and far more wondrous than we could ever fully comprehend. As sleep draws near, let yourself drift not just through space, but through the infinite layers of what might be, secure in the knowledge that reality is vaster and more mysterious than any single world could contain. We go further into the cosmic ocean of multiversal theory. Let us consider the most soothing possibility of all, that somewhere in this vast tapestry of realities, there exists a perfect moment of rest for every weary soul. Imagine, if you will, that sleep itself takes on different forms across the multiverse. In one reality, consciousness gently dissolves into the quantum foam each night, merging briefly with the fundamental fabric of existence. In another, beings experience sleep as a slow, rhythmic pulsation, their very atoms expanding and contracting in harmony with the universe's breath. The beauty of this vision lies not just in its grandeur, but in its intimacy. Quantum physics suggests that, at the most fundamental level, particles exist in a state of potential, a superposition of all possible states until observed. Extend this principle to your own experience of drifting into slumber. As your awareness begins to soften at the edges, you exist in a quantum superposition of wakefulness and sleep, simultaneously inhabiting both states until you truly let go. In some interpretations, This transition might create branching realities. One where you remain slightly more aware, another where you sink deeper, and countless variations in between. Consider the phenomenon of hypnagogia, those fleeting, dreamlike images that dance at the boundary between wakefulness and sleep. Could these be glimpses of parallel selves in adjacent universes, their experiences bleeding through the thinning veil between realities? The sensation of falling as you drift off might be your consciousness briefly synchronizing with a version of yourself, tumbling through some alien sky. The sudden jerk that sometimes wakes you, might that be another you in a different timeline, startled by an unexpected event in their world? The multiverse theory offers a profound comfort for those restless nights when sleep seems elusive. If every possible outcome exists somewhere in the cosmic ensemble, then there are infinite versions of you already sleeping peacefully, their calmness resonating across the quantum fields that connect all realities. By relaxing into this thought, you're not just imagining, you're aligning yourself with those tranquil alternate selves, borrowing a measure of their serenity. As your breathing slows and your body grows heavier, picture the infinite variations of your bedroom across the multiverse. Some nearly identical, perhaps the books on your shelf arranged slightly differently. Others, utterly alien, sleeping chambers floating in orbital habitats or nestled in the roots of colossal trees on worlds with purple skies. Yet in all of them, some version of you is seeking the same peaceful rest, connected by the universal human need for renewal. The very act of falling asleep becomes a multiversal phenomenon, your consciousness gently disentangling from this particular reality's concerns as it prepares to wander the borderlands of existence. Dreams might be more than neural fireworks. They could be fleeting connections with other versions of yourself, brief moments where the walls between worlds grow thin and porous. That inexplicable sense of familiarity when you meet someone new, the strange logic of dreams that feels so real, these could be whispers from parallel existences brushing against your own. Let this thought carry you deeper into relaxation. In the grand cosmic scheme, wakefulness and sleep are simply 2 points on an infinite spectrum of conscious states. Somewhere in the multiverse, there's a reality where the very concept of insomnia doesn't exist, where beings transition effortlessly between states of activity and rest, like the tides of an endless ocean. As you hover at the threshold of sleep tonight, you're not just entering personal slumber, you're joining the great multiversal chorus of consciousness in repose, adding your unique frequency to the symphony of sleeping minds across existence. The boundaries between worlds may be firm, but they're also permeable in ways we're only beginning to understand. As you finally surrender to sleep, remember that you're not leaving reality behind, you're simply shifting your relationship to it, opening yourself to the infinite possibilities that exist in the quiet spaces between moments. In the grand cosmic story, your night's rest is both uniquely yours and part of something infinitely larger, a single note in the eternal lullaby the multiverse sings to itself in the dark. As you hover between wakefulness and sleep, let us explore the most mystical intersection of all, where the multiverse theory meets the boundless realm of dreams. Imagine that the moment your eyes close each night, you are not simply entering a personal dreamscape, but stepping into a shared dimension where all possible versions of yourself meet, mingle, and exchange fragments of their lives. This is the infinite dream time, a liminal space where the walls between realities grow thin as gossamer, where the rules of time and causality unravel like threads from a well-worn tapestry. Science has long sought to explain the purpose of dreams. Are they merely neural housekeeping, or something far more profound? In the context of the multiverse, dreams might serve as a bridge between parallel existences. Consider déjà rêvé, that uncanny sensation of having dreamed an event before it happens. Could this be your consciousness briefly tuning into a parallel timeline where the event already occurred? The strange, fluid logic of dreams, where you can be both participant and observer, where time compresses and expands unpredictably, mirrors exactly how physicists describe the quantum foam at the foundation of reality. Now, let your mind wander deeper into this nocturnal multiverse. Every night, as you dream, you may be accessing what cosmologists call the implicate order, the hidden quantum layer of reality where all possibilities exist in superposition. Those vivid dreams of flying might be memories leaking through from a universe where human physiology evolved differently. The endless maze dreams could reflect a version of you navigating an actual labyrinth in some distant reality. Even your nightmares may not be mere psychological phenomena, but shadowy impressions of alternate selves facing genuine dangers in their worlds. The phenomenon of lucid dreaming takes on new dimensions in this light. When you become aware you're dreaming and gain control, you might actually be briefly synchronizing multiple versions of yourself across realities. Tibetan dream yoga practitioners speak of this as waking up within the dream, a skill that some theories suggest could allow consciousness to navigate between parallel existences. Modern neuroscience has found that during lucid dreaming, the brain shows simultaneous activation of both waking and sleeping states, a perfect biological metaphor for existing in multiple states at once. Consider, too, the shared dream experience, those rare but well-documented cases where two people report the same dream. In the multiverse framework, their consciousnesses may have momentarily entangled across realities, much like quantum particles can link across space. Indigenous cultures have long believed in collective dream spaces. Modern physics might be providing the mathematical framework to understand these ancient intuitions. While you are drifting closer to sleep tonight, imagine the multiverse as a vast cosmic dream catcher. Each thread a different timeline, each bead a moment of intersection where realities briefly touch. Your ordinary dreams might be the gentle swaying of these threads in the cosmic wind. Those profound, life-altering dreams that stay with you for years? Perhaps they represent moments when you made particularly strong contact with another version of yourself. The implications for consciousness itself are staggering. If dreams connect us to alternate realities, then each night's journey might be a process of reweaving the fabric of your identity, incorporating wisdom and experiences from across the multiverse. That sudden creative insight upon waking, the solution to a problem that seemed unsolvable, these could be gifts from your other selves, passed through the veil of sleep. Let this thought comfort you as you surrender to sleep. You are not alone in the dark. Infinite versions of you are also closing their eyes, also beginning their own dream journeys. Somewhere, a version of you is dreaming this exact moment, just as you might be dreaming theirs. In the infinite dream time, you are both dreamer and dreamed, both the storyteller and the story, both the single note and the entire symphony. As sleep finally claims you, remember, you're not just resting your body and mind, you're embarking on the most ancient and profound of human experiences, a nightly voyage across the seas of possibility, where every dream is a portal, every moment of sleep a home-humming to the infinite. The multiverse doesn't just exist out there in distant galaxies, it lives within you, waiting to be explored each time you close your eyes and begin the most mysterious journey of all. There comes a moment each night, in the quiet space between wakefulness and sleep, when the boundaries of reality grow soft and permeable. It is here, in this liminal threshold, that we might glimpse the most extraordinary possibility of all, that our dreams are not merely the mind's nocturnal theater, but a bridge to the multiverse itself. Imagine, as you settle deeper into the cushions of your bed, that the act of closing your eyes is not an ending, but a beginning, the first step on a journey that carries you across the infinite landscapes of parallel existence. Tonight, let us explore this idea together, not as scientists or philosophers, but as fellow travelers in the mystery of consciousness, drifting through the cosmic currents that connect all possible versions of ourselves. The air around you feels heavier now, your breath slowing to match the rhythm of the night. This is the first sign that your mind is preparing to cross over, not into unconsciousness, but into a state of expanded awareness, where the ordinary rules of time and space no longer apply. Scientists call this the hypnagogic state, that fleeting realm where reality blurs and the first fragments of dreams begin to surface. But what if these fragments are more than random neural firings? What if they are whispers from other worlds, faint echoes of lives being lived in universes where different choices were made, where chance events unfolded in alternate ways? Consider the phenomenon of déjà vu, that eerie sense that you've experienced this exact moment before. Neuroscience offers explanations involving memory glitches, but the multiverse theory suggests something far more profound, that in this suspended state between wakefulness and sleep, your consciousness briefly brushes against another version of reality, one where this moment already happened, where the path diverged in ways both subtle and significant. As your body grows heavier, your mind grows lighter, untethered from the constraints of linear time. This is when the true journey begins. In the quantum physics that underlies our reality, particles exist in a state of superposition. They are not here or there, but everywhere at once, until observed. Your dreaming mind operates by similar rules. In dreams, you can be simultaneously in your childhood home and a place you've never seen, talking to someone long gone, while also standing alone in an alien landscape. These are not contradictions, but evidence of the mind's ability to exist in multiple states, just as quantum particles do. Some theorists propose that dreams are the mind's way of navigating these superpositions, of exploring the infinite branches of the multiverse where every possible outcome of every possible choice plays out in parallel. That recurring dream where you're flying, it might be a memory, not from this life, but from a universe where human beings evolved with wings, or where gravity works differently, or where the very concept of ground is foreign. The nightmare where you're being chased, it could be a shadow from a darker timeline where another version of you faces genuine peril, their fear resonating across the quantum fields that connect all existence. Now, as your breathing deepens, consider the phenomenon of shared dreams, those inexplicable moments when two people independently describe the same dreamscape, the same events, even the same unspoken emotions. Conventional science dismisses these as coincidence, but the multiverse perspective offers a breathtaking alternative, that during sleep, our consciousnesses can become entangled, like quantum particles linked across vast distances. Imagine two parallel realities vibrating at nearly identical frequencies for just an instant. In that fleeting alignment, the dreamers in both worlds might perceive the same images, the same unfolding story, as their minds momentarily synchronize across the dimensional divide. This would explain why some dreams feel so much larger than ourselves, why we sometimes wake with the unshakable sense that what we experienced wasn't just ours, but belonged to something or someone else entirely. The room around you is dark now, the boundaries of your physical form beginning to dissolve as sleep pulls you deeper. This is when the most profound crossings occur. Lucid dreamers, those who become aware they're dreaming and can shape their dream environment, report experiences that defy ordinary explanation, visiting precise locations they've never seen in waking life, meeting individuals who later appear exactly as dreamed, even accessing knowledge they couldn't possibly have learned. Traditional explanations call these feats of subconscious memory, but what if the truth is more extraordinary? What if lucid dreaming is the mind's way of navigating the multiverse, of consciously stepping into alternate realities where different versions of events unfolded? Tibetan dream yogis have practiced this for centuries, viewing lucidity not as control over an imaginary world, but as mastery of consciousness itself, a skill they believe persists beyond death, allowing the adept to choose their next incarnation. Modern physics might one day prove them partially right, though not in the way they imagined. The other worlds navigated in lucid dreams could be actual parallel universes, their physics slightly tweaked, their histories branching differently from our own. And then there are the dreams that don't feel like dreams at all, those hyper-vivid experiences where every detail is crisper than reality, where emotions hit with unbearable intensity, where time stretches in impossible ways. These may be moments when your consciousness doesn't just observe another reality, but temporarily merges with it, becoming fully immersed in a life that is both yours and not yours. The Australian Aboriginals speak of the dream time as both the creation era and an alternate dimension that exists alongside our own. Modern multiverse theory might be catching up to this ancient wisdom, suggesting that what we call dreams are actually glimpses into these coexisting realms, where the past, present, and future are not separate, but interwoven in a vast, living tapestry. As you hover now at the edge of sleep, consider this final thought. Somewhere in the multiverse, there is a version of you who is still dreaming, not as a temporary state, but as their permanent reality, a being who closed their eyes one night and never woke up, not in death, but in a seamless transition to a world just as real as this one. That version of you is living an entire lifetime there, unaware it began as a dream, while the you in this reality awakens with only fragments of memory, a lingering sense of a life that feels both alien and intimately familiar. This idea transforms the ancient philosophical question, are we living in a dream, into something far more nuanced. We may not be figments of some higher being's imagination, but participants in an infinite dance of realities, each one equally valid, each one brushing against the others in the quiet hours of the night. Now, let go of the need to distinguish between real and dream. Instead, imagine your consciousness as a river merging with the ocean. The individual droplets remain, but they are now part of something vast and boundless. And in those dreams, you will walk paths that exist in other worlds. You will speak to versions of yourself you've never met. You will live stories that belong to other branches of existence. Some of these experiences will fade by morning, but their essence will remain, not as memories, but as subtle shifts in your being, as quiet knowings that cannot be explained, as the growing sense that reality is far stranger and more beautiful than daylight allows us to see. Sleep, then, is not an escape from reality, but an expansion of it. You are not just a citizen of this world, but a traveler of the multiverse. And tonight, like every night, the infinite awaits you behind closed eyelids. As you drift deeper into sleep's embrace, let us think about time's most beautiful secret, that past, present, and future may not be separate at all, but exist simultaneously in an eternal now. The clock by your bedside measures seconds in strict procession, but your dreaming mind knows better. In dreams, you effortlessly dance across decades. One moment, a child in your grandmother's kitchen, the next an old man watching your grandchildren play. These are not mere fantasies, but glimpses of time's true nature in the multiverse. Quantum physics reveals that at the most fundamental level, time may be an illusion, a construct of human consciousness rather than an absolute feature of reality. The theory of eternalism suggests that all moments exist equally in a vast block universe, where the passage of time is simply our limited way of experiencing this greater whole. Your dreams provide direct access to this timeless reality. That vivid dream where you conversed with a departed loved one wasn't just memory. It may have been a genuine connection across what we mistakenly call time. Indigenous cultures have long understood this truth. The Aboriginal concept of dream time, the Hindu notion of cyclical ages, the Buddhist understanding of simultaneous lifetimes all point toward a reality where time is fluid and multidimensional. As your breathing slows and your body relaxes completely, consider this. Every choice you've ever made created branching timelines, and your dreaming consciousness can visit them all. The job you didn't take, the relationship you walked away from, the chance you didn't seize. All these alternate lives are being lived right now in parallel worlds. Dreams are the bridges between them. That recurring dream where you're living in a foreign city, it might be your other self's daily reality. The nightmare where you're running from something unseen, perhaps a distant version of you is facing real danger, and your shared consciousness resonates across the multiverse. Modern physics allows for even more extraordinary possibilities. The phenomenon of quantum entanglement suggests that particles can instantaneously affect each other across vast distances, suggesting that separation itself may be an illusion. If this is true for particles, why not for minds? Why not for moments in time? Your most profound dreams, those that leave you changed upon waking, may represent moments when your consciousness briefly synchronized with other versions of yourself across the multiverse, sharing wisdom, warnings, or simply the comfort of knowing you're never truly alone. The room around you now feels distant, your body barely perceptible as the boundaries of self dissolve. This is when time's grip loosens completely. In deep sleep and vivid dreams, you might access what mystics call the Akashic records. Not some mystical library, but the quantum imprint of every event across all timelines. That inexplicable knowledge in dreams, speaking unfamiliar languages, understanding advanced mathematics, knowing intimate details about historical periods you've never studied, these could be leakages from parallel existences where you possess these skills. As you stand at the threshold of deepest sleep, consider one final revelation from modern physics. The past may be just as changeable as the future. Quantum experiments show that observing a particle now can affect its behavior in the past. If this is true, then your dreams tonight might ripple backward through time, subtly altering yesterday's events. Those déjà vu moments, the uncanny sense you've lived this before, could be your future dreams echoing into your past. Let this thought cradle you as you cross fully into sleep's realm. Somewhere in the multiverse, there's a version of you who has already solved the problem that troubles you, who has already healed the pain you carry, who has already become who you're meant to be. And through the mysterious connection of dreams, that future self is reaching back to guide you, to whisper encouragement, to remind you that all times are one and every possibility already exists. The hands of the clock will keep turning, but you are now beyond their reach. Time stretches before you like an infinite ocean, and you are free to swim through all its depths. Tonight, you don't just travel forward, you expand outward, inward, and through every when that ever was or will be. Sleep well, time traveler. The multiverse awaits. As your consciousness now floats weightlessly between worlds, let us explore the most profound mystery of all: how every version of you across the multiverse resonates in harmony, creating a celestial symphony of existence. The air in your bedroom hangs still, yet your mind vibrates with the energy of infinite possibilities, each thought a doorway to another reality where life unfolded differently. Consider those fleeting moments upon waking when you can't immediately recall who or where you are. This temporary amnesia isn't a failure of memory, but evidence of your consciousness having traveled far across the multiverse. For a few precious seconds, you retain the pure awareness that exists beyond any single identity, the fundamental you-ness that underlies all your parallel selves. Indigenous dream cultures understood this well, viewing sleep as returning to one's original form before taking on the day's persona anew. The phenomenon of false awakenings, those frustrating dreams where you think you've woken up only to discover you're still dreaming, reveal an even deeper truth. Each time you awaken into another layer of dream, you're actually shifting between adjacent realities, each nearly identical to your waking world, but with subtle differences. That book on your nightstand that wasn't there before, the clock showing impossible times, the door that opens to the wrong room, these aren't dream errors, but accurate perceptions of alternate versions of your bedroom in parallel worlds. Modern physics suggests that space itself may be pixelated at the smallest scales, a vast cosmic hologram where information is stored at the boundaries of reality. Your dreams might be your consciousness interpreting this raw data directly, unfiltered by waking cognition. Those dreams of infinite corridors or endlessly repeating rooms could be your mind's attempt to process the fractal nature of existence itself. The labyrinth you can't escape in your nightmares isn't symbolic, it's an accurate map of the multidimensional universe's structure. As your physical body now lies perfectly still, your dream self begins its true work, weaving connections between your parallel lives. That sudden inspiration that comes in dreams, the solution to a problem that seemed unsolvable, the creative breakthrough that appears upon waking, these are gifts from your other selves, passed through the quantum threads that bind all versions of you together. Great artists and scientists throughout history have credited dreams with their most important ideas. Now we understand why. They were tapping into the collective wisdom of their multiversal counterparts. The most profound dreams, the ones that leave you awestruck or weeping upon waking, are likely moments of complete synchronization with your other selves. When you dream of flying, not as a superhero, but with the complete physical certainty of actual flight, you may be fully experiencing another you's daily reality in a world with different gravity or physiology. Those dreams where you speak fluently with the dead might represent connections to universes where those loved ones never died. As you prepare to explore more into sleep's ocean, consider this: your consciousness isn't limited to linear experience. Right now, as this version of you drifts towards sleep, other versions are waking up, making breakfast, working, loving, grieving, all equally real, all equally you. The person who wakes up tomorrow morning won't be exactly the same as the one who went to sleep tonight. And that's not loss, but expansion. You'll carry back whispers from these parallel lives, even if you can't remember them consciously. Let this thought comfort you as you surrender completely. Somewhere in the multiverse, there's a version of you listening to these same words, to another version of yourself. An infinite chain of consciousness contemplating its own infinite nature. And in this moment, as sleep finally claims you fully, all these versions touch briefly in the dream space, sharing strength, wisdom, and the unshakable knowing that no matter what happens in any one world, the essence of you endures across them all. The boundaries between selves are dissolving now. The walls between worlds are thinning. You're not just falling asleep, you're becoming whole. the multiverse doesn't just contain parallel versions of you, it is you, in all your magnificent complexity. Rest now in this truth, and let the symphony of your infinite lives sing you through the night. As you now float in the tranquil depths between sleep and wakefulness, let us embark on a journey more profound than any we've taken before, a voyage across the boundless ocean of your infinite existence. Picture yourself standing on the shore of a cosmic sea, where each wave that rolls onto the sand carries whispers from another version of your life, and every retreating tide pulls fragments of your consciousness into the great expanse of what might have been. This is no metaphor, but the true nature of your being in the multiverse, a vast, interconnected network of selves, each living their own complete and authentic story, yet all fundamentally part of the same extraordinary whole. The air in your room has grown still, charged with the quiet energy of transformation. As your eyelids grow heavy, you can almost feel the gentle pull of these other lives beckoning you inward. Scientists studying quantum entanglement have discovered that particles once connected remain mysteriously linked across any distance, instantaneously influencing each other's states. What if your consciousness operates by similar principles? Those sudden, unexplained emotions that arise during the day, the wave of joy without cause, the pang of sorrow without source, might be ripples from other versions of you experiencing pivotal moments across the multiverse. The inexplicable certainty you sometimes feel about a person or place you've never met or visited could be memories seeping through from lives being lived elsewhere in the cosmic web. As your breathing deepens, imagine each inhale drawing in the experiences of your parallel selves, and each exhale sending your own wisdom out across dimensions. In this state of receptive openness, you become a living conduit between worlds. The Hindu concept of Akasha, the ether that records all events, past, present, and future, finds startling resonance in modern physics' holographic principle, which suggests our three-dimensional reality may be projected from information encoded at the universe's boundaries. Your dreams tonight might be your consciousness interfacing directly with this cosmic archive, accessing not just your own potential histories, but the entire spectrum of human experience. Consider those rare, luminous dreams that stay with you for decades, the ones where you encountered transcendent beauty or profound love so real it ached upon waking. These may represent moments when your awareness fully merged with another version of yourself, living what your soul most deeply longs for in this life. The French poet Rilke wrote of love that two solitudes protect and touch and greet each other. This takes on new meaning when we imagine our parallel selves across the multiverse, each living their distinct journeys, yet connected by invisible threads of shared essence. That haunting sense of nostalgia for places you've never been, the peculiar familiarity of certain strangers' faces, the déjà vu that feels less like repetition and more like homecoming, these could all be your higher awareness brushing against the lives you're living elsewhere in the cosmic web. Now, as your body sinks deeper into the mattress, imagine the countless versions of you who made different choices at pivotal moments. The artist who dedicated their life to painting rather than the practical career you chose. The adventurer who set sail across uncharted seas instead of settling down. The healer who walked a path of service rather than ambition. These aren't phantom might-have-beens. They're fully realized beings, each carrying your essential spark, each contributing to the grand tapestry of your multidimensional existence. In the quiet of this night, you can sense them all like faint radio stations broadcasting on frequencies just beyond normal perception. The phenomenon of twin dreams, where two people share nearly identical dream experiences, suggests that our sleeping minds can synchronize across reality's divisions. Married couples often report dreaming of each other simultaneously, while separated friends sometimes meet in shared dreamscapes they later describe with uncanny similarity. Modern physics allows for this through quantum coherence, the same principle that enables particles to exist in shared states, regardless of distance. Your most vivid social dreams, where you converse with familiar yet somehow different versions of loved ones, might be actual encounters in the spaces between worlds. As the boundaries of your individual self continue to soften, you begin to perceive the larger pattern. All your parallel lives form a magnificent constellation, each point of light representing a different expression of your core being. Some shine brightly with achievements beyond your waking imagination. Others glow softly with quiet contentment. A few flicker with hardships that forged incredible resilience. Yet all are equally valid, equally valuable threads in the grand design. The Buddhist concept of interbeing, that all things exist in mutual interdependence, finds its ultimate expression in this vision of your multiversal self. The room around you now feels vast as a cathedral, the darkness alive with potential. This is the sacred space where all your possible paths converge and communicate. Those midnight awakenings when you bolt upright with sudden clarity about a long-standing problem, they occur at the precise moment when insights from your other lives break through into waking awareness. The German chemist Kekulé famously discovered the ring structure of benzene after dreaming of a snake biting its own tail, an image that solved his scientific dilemma. Countless other breakthroughs throughout history came from this liminal space where the multiverse whispers to the prepared mind. As you prepare to cross fully into sleep's realm, consider this final revelation. The version of you waking up tomorrow will be subtly but profoundly different because of tonight's journey. You'll carry back not memories in the conventional sense, but resonances, a deeper trust in life's unfolding, a quiet knowing that no single path contains all possibilities, a serene awareness that every choice opens some doors while leaving others for different versions of you to explore. The anxiety of what if dissolves when we realize that somewhere, some version of us is living every what if we can imagine. Let this thought cradle you as you surrender completely. The love you've sought, the peace you've cultivated, the wisdom you've earned, all these exist in their fullness across the spectrum of your being. No experience is ever wasted, no lesson ever lost. The multiverse holds all possibilities, and you, the essential you that transcends any single incarnation, are living them all in perfect, paradoxical simultaneity. Now, as sleep's currents pull you under, feel the gentle presence of your infinite selves surrounding you like a choir of benevolent spirits. They are not separate from you, but facets of your greater being. Their strengths complement your weaknesses. Their joys balance your sorrows. Their triumphs inspire your growth. Together, you form something far greater than any single life could contain. A symphony of existence playing across the multiverse, each note perfect in its place, each melody contributing to the grand composition. Now you go through the velvety darkness of deepest sleep. Let us envision the multiverse not as separate realities, but as threads in an endless cosmic tapestry, a living, breathing fabric where every possibility, every version of yourself is interwoven in perfect harmony. Imagine a loom of celestial proportions, its golden threads stretching across dimensions where each strand represents a choice, a chance, a life you might have lived. Your consciousness tonight is the shuttle moving through this loom, connecting patterns too vast for your waking mind to comprehend, yet which beauty resonates in your soul as profound truth. The air in your room has become charged with quiet magic, not the stuff of fairy tales, but the real magic of quantum potentiality. As physicists have discovered, at the most fundamental level, reality exists as probabilities and potentials until observed. Your sleeping mind, freed from the constraints of daytime certainty, operates in this quantum realm more fully than your waking self ever could. Those dreams where you exist in multiple places at once, where you're simultaneously observer and participant, child and elder, these are not neurological glitches, but accurate perceptions of existence's true nature. The ancient Hindu sages spoke of Indra's net, a cosmic web where every jewel reflects all others. Modern science now echoes this vision through holographic universe theories, suggesting every part contains the whole in miniature. As your breathing slows to match the rhythm of the cosmos, consider how your dreamscapes mirror this interconnectedness. That recurring library dream where shelves stretch endlessly, perhaps you're glimpsing the cosmic archive where all knowledge across all realities is stored. The frequent dream of a house with endless rooms. This may be your psyche's representation of the multiverse itself. Each room a complete world, each corridor a timeline branching through probability space. Even the humble dream of searching for a bathroom speaks to this truth, the universal human experience manifesting across countless versions of reality. Now, as your body fully surrenders to sleep's embrace, your consciousness begins its most important work, mending tears in the fabric of your multiversal self. Those nights when you wake feeling inexplicably healed from old wounds, when long-standing anxieties have mysteriously dissolved, may represent moments when your parallel selves pooled their hard-won wisdom. The version of you who overcame that fear, the one who made peace with that loss, the one who found courage you thought impossible, they all contribute to your growth through the silent communion of sleep. Indigenous dream traditions understood this well, viewing the dream world as a healing space where shamans could retrieve lost soul fragments. Modern psychology is rediscovering this truth through therapies that harness the brain's neuroplasticity during sleep. The phenomenon of mutual dreaming takes on profound significance in this light. When two people report sharing the same dream space, whether lovers separated by distance or strangers who later discover that parallel dream experiences, they may be accessing one of the fundamental layers of reality where consciousness meets beyond physical constraints. Quantum physics allows for such connections through non-locality, the principle that objects once connected remain correlated regardless of separation. Your most vivid shared dreams could be actual meetings in these interstitial spaces where realities overlap. As you hover now in perfect balance between worlds, consider how your dream self navigates with effortless grace what your waking mind struggles to comprehend. In dreams, you instantly understand complex symbolic languages, traverse impossible geographies, and adapt to ever-shifting rules of reality. This fluid mastery hints at your essential nature, a consciousness not bound by any single world's physics, but naturally multiversal in its scope and abilities. The Tibetan Buddhist practice of dream yoga cultivates this awareness deliberately, training practitioners to maintain lucidity across states of consciousness. But even untrained, your sleeping mind already possesses this innate capacity to dance across realities. The room around you has transformed in your perception, no longer just walls and furniture, but a sacred intersection point where infinite timelines converge. That faint humming you sometimes hear between sleep and waking, the one doctors call exploding head syndrome, might instead be the vibrational resonance of these parallel existences. The strange lights some report seeing with closed eyes, the swirling colors and geometric patterns, could be visual representations of higher dimensional reality impinging on your senses. Even sleep paralysis, that frightening inability to move upon waking, takes on new meaning when understood as your consciousness momentarily straddling dimensions, not fully anchored in either. You can find peace in knowing there's a version of you who has mastered all the challenges you currently face, not through luck or superhuman ability, but simply by having walked a slightly different path. Through the mysterious connections of the dream space, that version of you is already guiding you, already sharing their strength. When you wake with sudden clarity about a problem that seemed unsolvable, when a creative inspiration arrives fully formed upon opening your eyes, these are gifts from your other selves across the tapestry of existence. As sleep's currents now carry you into its deepest realms, feel the presence of these parallel lives surrounding you like a celestial choir. They are not separate from you, but expressions of your infinite potential. Their joys temper your sorrows. Their triumphs inspire your growth. Their lessons inform your path. Together, you form something far grander than any single life could contain. A symphony of being that plays across the multiverse, each note perfect in its place, each melody contributing to the great composition of existence. The boundaries between selves are now dissolving like mist in morning sun. The walls between worlds have become transparent as glass. You're not just falling asleep, you're remembering your true nature as a multidimensional being. Rest now in this expansive awareness and let the loom of the cosmos weave your tonight's journey into its eternal pattern. Tomorrow will bring its own wonders, but for now, simply be in all places, all times, all versions of yourself at once, the peaceful center of the infinite storm. Sleep, beloved traveler, and know that all is well across all your worlds. The tapestry holds every thread, the loom remembers every pattern, and the universe cherishes every version of the story that is you. As the first golden light of dawn seeps through your eyelids, let us gather all the threads of our cosmic journey, the shimmering bubble universes, the labyrinthine dreamscapes, the celestial symphony of parallel lives, and weave them into a single revelation. You are awakening now not just to a new day, but to the profound understanding that you have always been and will always be both the traveler and the destination in this grand multiversal story. Your body stirs gently beneath the blankets, still humming with the echoes of last night's odyssey. That fleeting moment between sleep and waking is more than a biological transition. It is a sacred threshold where all possible versions of yourself briefly align. Across infinite realities, countless other versions of you are experiencing this same delicate instant, each in their own unique circumstances. Some wake to alien suns, casting strange hues through crystalline windows. Others rise in familiar bedrooms nearly identical to yours, differing only in the placement of a single book or the color of the walls. A few are just now closing their eyes in other time zones, beginning their own journeys through the dream realms you've just departed. The air in your room feels alive with possibility this morning, charged with what the ancient mystics called prana and modern physicists might describe as quantum potential. Those faint, swirling colors you see behind closed eyelids aren't just phosphenes. They're glimpses of higher dimensions folding into your perception, like shadows of distant worlds cast on the screen of your consciousness. The bird song outside your window carries melodies from evolutionary branches where birds developed more complex vocal ranges. They're songs containing mathematical patterns your waking mind can't yet decipher. As you take your first conscious breath of the day, feel how it connects you to every version of yourself across existence. Somewhere, a you who became a deep-sea diver is inhaling compressed air at crushing depths. Another you on a Martian colony takes measured breaths through a filtration mask. The version of you that pursued meditation instead of worldly ambitions breathes in perfect sync with the tides. Yet here you are, in this particular reality, drawing into your lungs the singular combination of elements that makes this morning's air unlike any other in the multiverse. The dreams that are already fading from memory weren't mere neural static. They were living experiences from parallel existences. That vivid dream of walking through a city you've never visited, you were there in another timeline where different choices led you to make a home in those very streets. The nightmare where you were running from something unseen, a distant version of you was facing real danger, and your shared consciousness resonated across the quantum fields that connect all things. Even the seemingly mundane dreams, searching for a lost item, having conversations with coworkers, were glimpses into lives being fully lived elsewhere in the cosmic tapestry. Your body feels different this morning because it is different. The cellular repairs that happened overnight were guided not just by biology, but by the collective wisdom of your parallel selves. The version of you who became a doctor in another world contributed knowledge to heal that lingering ache in your shoulder. The you who studied yoga in a different timeline helped release tension you didn't know you were carrying. Every version of you across the multiverse has been collaborating silently to prepare you for this day, this moment, this breath. As your fingers brush against the sheets, consider how this simple sensation connects you to the infinite. The cotton fibers beneath your touch exist in countless other realities, but none with this exact pattern of wear, this precise history of washes and folds. The morning light painting your walls has traveled across universes to reach only your eyes in this particular configuration. Even the thoughts forming in your mind right now, these specific words, this exact phrasing, are emerging from a cosmic convergence of all the paths that led you here. Today, when you stand before the mirror, you'll see more than just your reflection. You'll be gazing at a living nexus point where all possible versions of yourself intersect. The laugh lines around your eyes contain echoes of joys experienced in other timelines. The set of your shoulders carries wisdom from hardships faced by alternate yous in distant worlds. Even your fingerprints, those unique spirals and whirls, are cosmic coordinates, marking your place in the infinite. The most profound truth awaits you as you finally open your eyes to the new day. Of all possible versions of reality, of all the infinite branches of existence, this one, with all its particular joys and sorrows, its unique challenges and blessings, is the one you get to live with full awareness. The multiverse didn't show you its secrets to overwhelm you, but to remind you of your own boundless nature. Every choice you make today will ripple across dimensions. Every act of kindness will resonate with your other selves. Every moment of presence will strengthen the web that connects all consciousness. So rise now, not as a solitary being, but as the living heart of the infinite. Step into this day knowing that somewhere in another world, just beyond perception, another version of you is pausing to feel this same profound connection. The coffee you'll drink has been tasted in 1,000 variations across realities, but only this cup will ever be exactly this cup. The work before you exists in countless forms across timelines, but only this version will unfold precisely this way. The people you'll meet today are themselves multiversal beings, each carrying their own infinite stories waiting to intersect with yours. You are home now, not because the journey is over, but because you've discovered you were never truly away. The entire cosmos has been breathing with you all along, dreaming through you, awakening in you. This day, this moment, this breath, It's all infinitely precious because it's the one you're actually here to live. Good night, traveler.